So today we're going to talk about how to protect the anointing in others. We've been talking about the anointing, our special anointing. We've talked about how the anointing, it's like a treasure box. It's a gift. It's a special gift or talent that God has given you. But just like God has given you something, God has given that person sitting next to you something. There's something on the inside of them that we need to identify, that we need to value, that we need to protect and cherish in each other. So we're going to talk about a really cool story of a great example of that, and that is the friendship of Jonathan and David. Yes, people in the Bible, they had friends, just like me and you have friends. Jesus had friends. He had people that he could trust really, really close. And so it's important that we have these godly friendships and that we recognize the anointing in one another. So let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 18. That's in the Old Testament, 1 Samuel chapter 18. And while you're turning there, I'm going to kind of just summarize this story. So we're coming up to a point in the service or in this Bible chapter about whenever David now comes into the house of King Saul. But before he got into the house of King Saul, there was a really, really ugly, hairy giant that he had to fight. What was his name? Goliath. And King Saul said, you know what? I need someone to take down this hairy giant, this big, ugly giant. And if you do this, I'm going to give you a lot of money. You're not going to have to pay taxes. And I'm going to give you my daughter's hand in marriage. So did David defeat Goliath? Yes. He did, didn't he? So now he comes into the house of Saul. Saul is introducing David to his family. So 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 1, it says, after David had finished talking with Saul, he met Jonathan, the king's son, and there was an immediate bond between them, for Jonathan loved David. And I really love that because have you ever met someone, super kids, that you just immediately like, man, I just really like this person. Like me and this person really get along. Maybe it's because you have some of the similar, likes or dislikes. Maybe y'all are both interested in video games, or maybe you both like to eat pizza, or maybe you both go to the same school and you are both in like the same kind of sports, like basketball, or you both like volleyball, different things like that. But there are some times that God will naturally connect you with a really, really close friend, even without any of that involved. That person might not like exactly what you like, but God has placed that person in your life to be that God connection. And that's a friend that you can rely on and trust, and you can go to them for prayer. You can go to them whenever you need advice and need wisdom and direction in your life. And that's what Jonathan and David discovered in each other. They discovered a covenant friendship, a friendship that God had connected between the two of them. In verse 2, it says, from that day on, Saul kept David with him and would not let him return home. So now David was part of Saul's family. He lived with them. And Jonathan made a solemn pact with David because he loved him as he loved himself. Jonathan sealed the pact by taking off his robe and giving it to David, together with his tunic, sword, bow, and belt. Whoa, now hold up. Jonathan is the king's son. Jonathan is next in line for the throne, okay? This was his birthright. And everybody knew after King Saul died, Jonathan would be the next king because Jonathan was like a prince, the prince of Israel. You could say it like that. But he recognized something on the inside of David. He saw his gift. He saw his anointing. He said, you know what? Even though by birthright, I have this right to ascend the throne one day, I see the gift of a king inside of my friend David. And he recognized that. And he gave him honor by taking off his robe and giving him his bow and the things that he fought in battle. He recognized something on the inside of his friend. So in verse 5, whatever Saul asked David to do, David did it successfully. So Saul made David commander over the men of war, an appointment that was welcomed by the people and Saul's officers alike. When the victorious Israelites army was returning home after David, he had killed the Philistine. Women from all over the town of Israel came out to meet King Saul. They sang and danced for joy with tambourines and cymbals, and this was their song. Saul has killed thousands, but David has killed what? 10,000s. This made Saul very angry, very jealous. "What is this?" he said. "They give credit to David for 10,000 and me only 1,000. Next, they'll be making him their king." So from that time on, Saul kept a jealous eye on David. He saw that anointing because God had made David very successful in battle. And he saw the anointing of the next king of Israel on him. But he was like, you know what? I hate that and I'm jealous of it. I don't want to see that. That's not what good friends do they? No. We talked about that in Sunday school today of how friends don't gossip about each other, right? But friends also don't try to stuff each other's gifts and talents and skills in a box. No, we open it up and we're like, hey, I'm your friend. I see this awesome gift on the inside of you, and I'm going to help bring it out, whether that's through prayer or whether that's through encouragement. Whatever it is, I'm going to help you do what God has called you to do.
Thank you for watching Super Kid Academy at Eagle Mountain International Church. Kids, with your parents' permission, visit us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also visit us in person on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night services. We'll see you next time at Super Kid Academy.